Ah, you've arrived. Welcome to the Ven Luxor Casino, home to many of the galaxy's most questionable patrons and presently the scene of a rather nasty crime. A large insectile organic named Vorzak Graal has expired on the premises of the casino, and the casino's security chief, Keir Lorne, has enlisted our wittier patrons to try and help to solve this mystery before the First Order sends trigger-happy stormtroopers down here, and we all find ourselves with new entry and exit ports on our persons. Keir has identified 16 persons of ill repute who may or may not be responsible, and your mission is to identify which fleshling is responsible for the deactivation of Vorzak Graal. My name is VL79, and I have been given the task of orienting you to the casino's investigation interface, Intari Realms, on your datapad or comms device. This should be entertaining. Before you begin solving this mystery, you'll need to complete a few basic steps. First, enter your access code. Yes, the one you were given. No, I cannot retrieve it for you. Next, create your player profile and register as a user. Pick a name, something memorable, or at least pronounceable. Once inside, you'll see a countdown timer. That means the game has not started yet. Try to remain calm. While you wait, you may review introductory content, familiarize yourself with the Intari Realms interface, or simply stare at the timer, as many of your kind prefer. When the countdown reaches 0, everything becomes significantly more exciting for you. Intari Realms operates on 3 concepts you may find challenging: observation, interaction, and deduction. You will progress through chapters of the story. Each one contains new information, some useful, some misleading, much of it wasted on the inattentive. Try not to be inattentive. You may communicate with the various suspects. Some of them are remote. This means they are only accessible through your interface. Others are local. These fleshlings are physically present in your environment. Yes, that means you will need to move. Do try not to injure yourself. Ask questions of both the remote and local suspects. Though I recommend forming intelligent questions before speaking, a novel concept for most organics. Remote suspects will respond through the system. Local suspects require a bit more effort. If you ask the right questions, local suspects may provide you with physical cards containing 6-digit codes. If you ask the wrong questions, they may not. This is not a flaw in the system. As you proceed, you will collect clues, objects, and terms. Clues are fragments of information that may provide alibis or evidence that point to guilt or innocence. Objects are items of interest that may have been used in the crime, or they may prove a suspect's innocence. Terms are galactic concepts your fleshy brain might struggle to retain. Some of these will unlock automatically, others require effort, or intelligence, or luck. Of course, you may lack one or more of these attributes. Still, do your best. You will encounter a variety of challenges: passwords and passphrases, decision-based choices, and interactions tied to both the system and your physical surroundings. There are objects hidden throughout your environment. Yes, real ones. Not everything happens on your screen. Some of these objects contain 6-digit codes. You are expected to find them and input them into your device. I should take a moment to mention your Detective Tools interface. Here you can find a list of the suspects. You can read their bios and learn more of their stories. You can also select from the list any remote suspects to question through the interface. For the local suspects, you can still read their biographies, but rather than questioning them through the security application, you have the option to enter any of the 6-digit codes they provide you from your conversation. Detective Tools contains both your terms and objects that I mentioned previously. Do try and keep up. and the Detective Notes interface that will display a list of all the clues and objects that you are somehow smart enough to reveal, either through conversation with the remote suspects or by inputting a 6-digit code. Most of these reveals will grant you points, but we'll talk more about your scoring later. For now, the Terms and Objects section contains items that you can tap on to learn more and see notes on that may help inform you if these objects were actually used in a crime or if they prove a suspect's innocence, so do try and take a peek at this section periodically as you may, inadvertently or intentionally, unlock the object used to terminate Vorzak. Your Detective Tools interface also contains puzzles which are available from the start, and it may give you valuable clues if you happen to have the requisite intelligence to solve them. You may attempt solutions as many times as necessary, and based on historical data, you will. Efficiency, however, is rewarded. Consider trying that. Under Detective Tools, there is also a hint system where you may purchase additional information by sacrificing some of your hard-earned points for a small advantage. Try to use these as a last resort. Detective Tools also contains a dedicated button that allows you to input the 6-digit codes you get from the characters and environment around you, so don't forget about that. Now the part where you attempt to solve the actual mystery. You are not simply collecting information. You are building toward an accusation. Investigators are looking for 4 specific conclusions. Who committed the crime? What method was used? What object or weapon was involved? And the motive behind it. Yes, all 4. However, if you have the inability to identify all 4, you will get points for each element you do manage to identify successfully. When you believe you have the correct answers, you will use the investigator report system found under Detective Tools to make your formal accusation. This section allows you to input your conclusions for each of the 4 conditions. You will see that you have the ability to select the suspect, the means, the vector, and the motive. I've been told this is very similar to identifying someone named Colonel Mustard having committed a similar crime in a study with something called a candlestick, though none of those references make any sense to a droid from Canto Bight. The important thing to note is that, while the suspect list, the motive, and the method of dispatch, known in the Intari Realms system as the vector, are pre-filled with options, the means portion of the investigator report will populate with more objects as you unlock them through suspect interactions or as they are revealed throughout chapters of the story. So the better you are as an investigator, the longer this list will become. When you are ready to accuse a suspect, select your answers carefully. Once submitted, your accusation is recorded. If you are correct, you may experience a brief moment of competence. If you are not, perhaps try drowning your sorrows in a beverage from the bar. You have limited opportunities to revise your accusation, depending on the scenario. So try, just this once, to think before acting, and do not forget, the timer is still running. Do you see the timer at the top of your interface? That's there to remind you of your own fleshy mortality, and that you must solve this mystery in the allotted time. When the timer runs out, you will have a short grace period to rush in your investigator report, after which the interface will close down and the mystery will end. So if time expires before you submit your final accusation, then all of this effort will have been for nothing. Well, nothing measurable, at least. You will earn points for discovering clues, solving challenges, and making correct decisions as well as making an accurate investigator report. When the mystery ends, your interface will deactivate, and you will see the final solution and a leaderboard showing all the scores of your fellow investigators. Yes, there is a leaderboard. No, not all of you will appear on it near the top. Those of you who do, however, should take a moment to congratulate yourself on a near-droid-like accomplishment. Good job. I shall offer you some advice, though I doubt it will be fully utilized. Ask specific questions. If you don't know what to ask of your remote suspects, there are 3 provided questions to begin your interrogation, so that's a good place to start. Pay attention to both what is said and what is not. Search your physical environment and attempt, however briefly, to think ahead. This may cause you the organic sensation of discomfort known as reasoning. I mention it because such concepts are foreign to you fleshlings. Working with others may improve your odds, or simply spread the confusion. But for now, the clock is ticking. The system is ready. The story is already in motion, and you are about to be involved in it. Try not to embarrass yourself. Good luck, fleshlings.